Welcome, property investors. This is the Building in Perth podcast with your two hosts, Chris Holland and Tony Hyde. If you're a property investor or you're curious about investing in property in Western Australia, this is the podcast for you. The reason for that is we're not going to hold back. We're not going to sugarcoat things. We're certainly not going to bullshit you, and we're going to exploit everything that you need to know. Every month, we're going to have special guests on, industry professionals, and then we're going to release an episode every single Monday. So you're not going to miss anything. So please stay tuned, like and subscribe so you never miss anything, and enjoy.
Hello there and welcome to the Building in Perth podcast with your host Tony Hyde and
Chris Holland.
This is a really special one today because we've got the guru of land agents in the business, Lee from Parcel Property. Welcome, Lee.
Morning. Thank you so much for having me. I don't even know if it's going to be morning, but it's morning right now.
6 a.m.
It's really early.
But thanks for having me. It's lovely.
No, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it. Giving up your valuable time to talk to us about land agents buying land and all that.
All things dirt.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience and why you're a land agent, all that good stuff.
So 15 years I've been in the industry. Started off in new homes with project homes for 3.5 years, then into luxury homes, which I loved, 3.5 years, and now 8 years in land. So it's, land's been good. I've really enjoyed it. I prefer to work with a rep rather than the client. Sometimes the clients aren't quite up to the knowledge that they need to be, whereas if they go to the rep and the builder, the broker, they put a package together and it's easy for them. And that's the beauty of my job, is that I can deal with you guys because you've really already put the package together.
Yeah, and that's easy for you. And we'll unpack that a little bit later on as we pass on, which is great. So who do you work for currently right now? Where are you at now?
So I'm with Parcel Property. Parcel Property,
My favourite.
The best.
founded themselves probably about 7 years ago. I'm 6 years in now. They started off really small and just being localised, so working with one particular builder. And then about 7 years ago, they decided they're going out to the world. And yeah, I was working in an estate behind one of their very first ones. So I put my feelers out and stalked them a little bit and got myself into this this company.
What was the estate? Can you remember?
So I was in Avonlea, and it was the start of Flamewood in Brabham. Yeah. But
Look at the size of that now.
Look at it. It's all done and dusted.
I know. It's
Gone.
massive. Wow.
Done and dusted.
That's great.
And Avonlea's still going.
Yeah. I mean, me and Chris have worked with Lee for a couple of years now, Chris a bit longer, and the service that you provide is second to none. So I just want to thank you for all that you've done. But one of the best things is the van you've got. You have to tell us about the van because that is the best thing. So tell me about the van.
So that's the wonderful thing about Parcel Property. They're not scared of doing something innovative or something a little bit different or something that takes a little bit more work. So Jeremy, our GM, decided that we weren't going to be sitting in land sales offices. We were going to have mobile sales vans, and we could drive up and we can take people away. We can pop them into the van and take them on their block, or we can go to their home.
You still get free ice cream?
I have icy poles and drinks. Yeah, it's a fun thing. But having said that, we've got this wonderful van, but we've got so much volume now. The good old DocuSign has come to fruition, and
So did you just use the van for your holidays and stuff? No,
sleepovers have been had. Yes.
Nah, great, awesome. So what does a land agent do?
Yeah, so we basically facilitate the land side of things. So you guys, and I'm going to say the reps put the packages together more likely than not. We just check in with the client, make sure they're happy. It's really where they want to be. There are some crazy reps out there, so you always want to make sure that the client is happy. So we do their paperwork. So we do the O&A. We go through a little bit about the settlement agents, and what to expect along the journey. But really, with land, we just breeze in and breeze out. It's really, you guys spend a lot more time with the client these days than we do.
So you said an O&A. What is an O&A?
An offer and acceptance. So offer and acceptance is really the land contract. Yeah, we're all about slang these days. It's really bad that we use lots of letters, but it's the actual land contract, and it's a legal document. So we need to have our real estate qualifications, not just like a builder rep can go and sell houses, but with the land we need to study and keep up with all of the laws and things like that go with it.
Is the offer and acceptance the same as established? Is it the same document?
There is pretty much the same. Yeah, there's just that little special conditions part where you put your chattels and all of that sort of stuff. So yes, it is. I can go and sell an established property as well.
I never knew that.
And I can be a property manager as well. So the qualification is very good.
You just get better and better, don't you? Everything. So what are some of the things to look out for when a client was to sign an offer and acceptance? Like, what are the things that, definitely not you, but some of the land agents might forget to tell you or want to hide or whatever, for whatever reason? What would you say?
There's lots of little things along the way that, you've been sold this package, but have you been sold everything? Is it survey strata, number one? Is it a strata? Are there strata fees involved? Is it really what you want? Easements are another one. Sometimes we get to building stages and they say the rep goes, it's new. Yeah, what's that little dotted line there? Well, that's an easement. So that's your sewer line or a particular spot where you can't build.
The client would never know this either.
No, that's right.
I think as well, like there's so many with new home building reps. There's a high turnover.
Well, they all came in during the stimulus to fill a void, which was amazing. But realistically, were they trained? I don't know. That's why experience is amazing. That you need to really deal with people who you can get some testimonies from, or referred to, or something along those lines.
Because it puts Lee in an awkward position if the reps come in and done a package up or built this house and it doesn't comply straight away. So it then puts these guys in an awkward position, because more often than not the package is signed before they meet.
Well, that's right. And the person's in love with it.
Yeah,
they look
right.
at it.
They've been sold the dream.
They've signed off on it, and all of a sudden, oh gosh, we can't build
that. It doesn't work.
No, absolutely.
It's really a bit of a nightmare.
We spoke about this on the previous podcast about land, so please check it out, episode 3. If you haven't, then you shouldn't be listening to this one. So one of the things that we spoke about land is like BAL, bushfire attack level. Yeah. We won't go into that because we spoke about it in the other podcast, and also get your land before you get your house.
Yeah.
If the rep's pushing you to do the house and you don't have the land, guys, get up and run away and come and see us instantly. Don't matter what time of day, just come and see us. But what's your thoughts on that kind of thing? How many times have you seen that happening? Yeah,
so many times. And people have been pushed to areas where they don't really want to be. It's not close to their work. It's not close to the kids' schools. They have to uproot everything. It's a tough thing when you're put in front of a rep who's selling you this dream, but realistically, is it really what you want?
He's not listening.
Are all the amenities around there for you? Is it close to your work? Are you FIFO? Does it need to be on a highway to the airport? There's a lot to. Are you downsizing? Are you downsizing and you want to be near the coast? There's a lot of things that people need to really think about when they're purchasing. But finance is another one where you can get led astray. A lot of these builders try and package you up really quickly and don't probably offer you everything that needs to be offered. So really know your finance, what you can borrow.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I how I got taught for the company that I started with was you don't even check it with the mortgage broker. you get a little bit of paper filled out, and the rep, who's at that time it was me, completely inexperienced. I don't fucking know anything about finance.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm telling this client, yep, you can borrow 460k.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Here's my list.
Yeah, here's
here's my list.
So we're gonna go to obviously one of Lee's estates because I don't sell anywhere else. But we'll go here, and this house is, and this is for you, and it's bullshit. So the way we do it, obviously, Lee, well, the way I've done it since the start is the opposite. So I'll send them straight to. I still use Sergio from Movement Finance.
Yeah.
Tony
Serge
uses
is
his other
great.
guys,
Yes.
but I think the mortgage broker is almost the first person that has to be involved to
Yeah,
see
I think
an accurate cost what the client can
Find
afford.
out what you can afford.
And then what the client actually is comfortable affording. I mean, a lot of people are kicking themselves now. They've been signed up with these, I guess, in that system, not the correct way or the right procedure, and now the repayments are up 150 bucks a week, unfortunately, and that they probably didn't budget for that. You know what I mean? I know there's a lot of people struggling at the moment, so. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing in my behalf. Getting finance sorted, then choosing a block of land in the correct location, and then worry about the house and the builder that's going to build it.
And the thing with finance is, if that's your finance, if that's your limit, and it doesn't quite meet your wish list, doesn't quite meet your first, your dream home, none of us bought our dream home first. No. None of us, not one of us can say, I bought my dream house, unless we'd won lotto, but none of us did. So, it's baby steps. Take it slowly. Yeah. If it's a survey strata little,
whatever.
2 by 1.
Yep.
That's it. That's where you start. Or it's a 7.5 by 25. You pop your little 3 by 2 on it, and that's where you start.
Get in there. Yeah. Exactly.
You've got to pay rent.
Yeah.
You've got to pay rent, so you may as well be paying off your own piece of property.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. I've got a question, just to go back to what Tony said with BOW.
Oh, yeah.
This happens a lot in these new estates. So sometimes you've got a block of land that will have a BOW 12.5, and there's obviously different ratings of BOW, which we uncovered last episode. But what happens if I sign a client up on a block of land that's got a BOW 12.5 because they'll scrub a bushland next door?
Yep.
But then that gets developed once a certain amount of this area is cleared or sold, let's say, and you guys get a bit more money, and then you start clearing it, and that BOW is now null and void.
Then it gets
there?
removed. So if you haven't started building, obviously that can be amended.
Yeah.
But if you've started building, there is nothing you can do really about it. But having said that, with our estates, we know where it's going. Mm-hmm. So we factor all of that in as the stages go. But the other thing that we're getting in trouble with now is that we've got some old lots that have come back to market, which we had Bell reports for. The winter, the grass has grown, so we've got to go back out now and slash and get new reports. So, there's just little things like that you've got to be aware of all of the time. And that the good thing about Parcel is that you can actually go to them and say, hey, you sold it as this, but it's actually come in as this. We fix that.
No work on it, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Because not all land agents are like that, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, and it depends on who you buy through. If you're buying through a little small developer, sometimes they're in and out and they're gone and there's no recourse, The good thing with Parcel is that they're ready to chat. Even with
you want to protect your brand, don't you?
Absolutely,
right,
absolutely. Yeah. And we've sold it as this, so that's what it is.
That's what you're going to get
as. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
for sure.
So there's not only like BAL and stuff, there's things like power lines, there's noise
power
attenuation.
line, yeah.
These are things that, in my opinion, the land agent should be telling you about. Now, it's obviously the broker's job to make sure they've asked those questions, but the land agent, if you go to the land agent without a broker or a rep, make sure you're asking about power lines and noise attenuation. And I'll pass over to you, Lee, to explain what those are.
Yeah, so overhead power lines can be a bit of an issue, and then with you borrowing from the bank, some banks like it, some banks don't like it, or they'll accept it. But a lot of the time, if you're very close to power lines, you have to go through Keystart, and that's that higher mortgage, higher interest rate, higher
7% now.
It's crazy. Higher payments, and you're a first home buyer, but you've got to do that because of these power lines. So you've just got to be careful.
Was it 20% deposit or something?
20% deposit if you're going to a bank. Some of the other banks, if you're far enough away, like if you're 90 metres away, so it's within 100 metres of power lines that the banks
Crazy.
There's another one, and I'm not as educated on it, but I think the power voltage of the power line comes into effect as well. So I sold a block of land or a house and land package, and I made a mistake. So I sold a package in Dianella, and it was on the corner of a block, and it was, I can't remember the exact meterage, but it was about 60 odd meters away. But because it was along, is it Molly Drive near Dianella, something like that?
Yeah, one of the main roads.
Yeah, a main road, but it was a severe power line, or like high voltage power line.
So it's one of the big ones.
Yeah, and I couldn't even see it.
ones.
Like, you couldn't even see it from the block of land. I checked the block. I didn't know it was over miles away from the block, which I thought. But when we actually went through everything and it got picked up at planning, like it was
So
a massive
who did you buy the
cost.
block from?
See, this is the difference. He's a real estate agent. That's right. So he was working for, say, the agency, I think. He's actually a really
Same
good
rules.
bloke. But
Same
yeah,
rules.
that's right. But they
Same
don't
rules.
sell land, do they? So
Yeah, but the same rules apply.
Yeah.
So the same rules apply. He should have. Yeah, he
Yeah,
should
he
have made
should have.
sure
He
that
should have.
that you were aware.
Correct.
That all of these things
Correct.
are
needed.
could be a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which again, it's why it's so critical. I believe, like when you're looking for blocks of land to deal with people who specialize in
That's
that
what we do.
field.
Yeah, that's what we
there's
do.
There's a lot of real estate agents that will be local for that. Maybe he was the top rep in Dianella, but established houses, and it's a totally different field from selling a subdivided block of land.
Lots of infill, so that's a lot of people want to be in these areas, and if somebody demolishes or subdivides, then this block is freehold, and then all of a sudden, anyone can sell it. But it's still same rules apply. So you've got to know all of these things. A lot of things with rear stratas and not so rear blocks,
Rear loaders,
rear loader,
battle axes,
you've got all this wasted space of the driveway and the expense of putting in
drainage.
There's a lot
Services.
to think about with all of these things. So
For sure.
yeah,
That one stung me, and I owned it, and I wore the cost of it actually for the client, but it was a big learning curve.
it's a learning curve.
Yeah, it was a
look,
learning
we all
curve.
have to make mistakes.
It's my only one.
Yeah, I know.
No, it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
won't-
again, and that,
you
I'll
won't
never
ever
do it again. No, I'll never
No.
do it again.
No.
So
Again.
it's important to make sure who you're dealing with.
As much as
checks
the
these
sorry,
things.
mate, sorry. As much as the rules are the same for buying from a real estate agent or a land agent, there are differences, I suppose. What would you say are kind of the main ones? The main ones I'm thinking was 90 days.
Your finance side of things? Yeah, look, we still do 60 days so that we can just check in, but that we've got a different clientele. So we're dealing with a lot of first home buyers. As you know, sometimes they need to clear debt, sometimes they need to save. There's all sorts of reasons why people need extra time to get their finance. Time in job is another one.
Big one.
There's
Savings.
savings is another one. If you want to go through a bank, you've got to have deposit. So, it's those sort of things where you've got to lost my train of thought.
Communicate.
Yeah, communicate, talk to people, make sure that it is what you need and what you want, and go from there.
I suppose for us, when we're doing infill blocks or buying from real estate agents in developed areas, is the time that they want to sell the land within like 10, 15 days, right? And as we know, we're doing a house and land package. Some people want to package it all together so they don't get stung twice for LMI or have to put deposit down and do 2 mortgages and stuff. We sometimes come across the real estate agents that won't give us those 90 days so we can get the build done, the build contract, and package it up. Whereas land agents, you guys give us...
sometimes we do 120 days. Yes.
These guys are used to selling established houses.
Yeah,
so
and 30 days to finance and things
you got
like
a
that.
pre-approval there.
Yeah.
You go and pick it. It's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, so it's just something to be mindful, guys, when you're doing this. Is like when you buy a land, give us a shout and let us go and check it and try and negotiate those terms for you and explain to the real estate agent. Again, it's not all they're doing is selling the land. They don't really care about it afterwards. We can have a negotiation with them, explain what we're doing, and put the subject to the
And
sale.
the
we
process
usually-
and how long it takes, because whether they're aware or whether they care or don't care, they've got to be educated. As a client, you would be really wanting to do that for sure.
So parcel property, fairly big land agents.
Yeah,
we've
we
got
are
lots
big.
of land
We
everywhere.
are big these days.
One of the biggest there.
Yeah,
So-
we
say
are
that,
well
up
and
there.
truly getting there now.
If you can, tell me about why and where, not so much where, but why parcel property buys the land where they buy it. What kind of things do they look for to make sure that it's a successful sell on?
I think I started with it when I introduced, going into parcel. They're not scared of doing things, so they've got some great infill areas where they're doing land. So Darch is one. Kinmore Green is right in the middle of Darch, and it's a remedial site. It's one of those sites that needs some love and needs some attention. And the general developers out there, they don't want to do anything like that. But, you can make money by doing that because it's an area that's very popular and people want to be. So, it's putting the time and effort into doing that. So that's what I love about them. They work with builders really well, builders and brokers, so they know the process. They know the process very well of construction. So it's one of those things that you want to work with a developer that will give you the time or the assistance or the support to get your people to site. So, they're a good crew. I like them.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely, we agree.
Balcatta was a good little one that you had.
Balcatta, so Balcatta, but it runs into some problems. So, but we're not scared. We're not shying away from it. We're fronting up and we're getting our head around it and getting into it. And I think that's the beauty of these guys is that they'll really give it a crack and push forward with it.
I can hold testament to that. Not so much parcel property, but definitely Lee. When we've ran into problems or we're struggling with land, Lee's always been able to pop up and say, hey, I've got this and we can make this work. That's what a quality land agent does. It actually helps with a solution for the client. They want to be in this area, has to be this, and we go to work. Don't be scared, to speak to them about that, but that's a testament to what you do, so it's awesome.
Thank you. But that's the idea of working together so closely. That I will, if I can, I'll find you something. So, yeah.
And I think that's built on communication as well, isn't it? I mean, how many times do you just get a random email from a new rep in the industry and you've never met them before?
And they ask all the wrong questions.
Yeah, that's right. I need to hold on this. No, that one's sold, mate. That's actually sold.
What price list are you looking at?
That's right.
Oh, the one from April. Did you know it's December now?
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
A lot's happened since then.
Okay, I want to talk about Port Kennedy.
Oh.
Want to talk about Port Kennedy?
I want to talk about Port Kennedy.
So, talk about Port Kennedy.
So you can ask me what my favourite estate is.
What's your favourite estate, Lee?
Well, I think Port Kennedy is the most amazing. Kennedy Bay is the most amazing estate we've, I think, doing. It's a ripper. It's so good. It's resort living. So if you think you are a downsizer or you're double income, no kids, and you have a little fur baby or whatever, this is the estate for you. 250 metres from the beach, the ocean. You're in a bay. You're going to have a 19-hole golf course right next door. You're going to have a microbrewery. You're going to have a boutique hotel. You
sold me at the brewery.
I know. The day spa's going to go in there. We're tossing up between childcare and day spa, but the day spa I think will be the winner because of the clientele who are purchasing in there. But I think it's been a dream to get Kennedy Bay and Port Kennedy up and running for a long time. And we're here, guys. We are here.
It's available. Huh?
It's
It was
stunning.
a bit of a wait, but now it's available. And there's blocks available
First
now.
stage is just about sold out. We're just about to release a couple more townhouses and traditional homes along the ocean. Can't get any closer. Nothing goes in front of you. It's just the dunes and then the beach is 250 metres.
Are they exclusive to certain builders, or is there opportunity for clients to...
The townhouses, yes. There are 4 traditional blocks that are not. They're both facing
the
ocean. So,
can I get one?
Yeah, sure.
Can one be exclusive to CC West?
Yeah.
So this may be a little question segue into Chris.
I'm putting a sign there anyway.
So
pop it in.
say we're going to say you've got a client with what we leave. We've got this perfect bit of land, and now we're building. What are the main things we need to consider when building so close to the ocean?
Mm-hmm.
Just a question for who's this
for you, Chris? This is the
find a builder
question.
that knows what they're doing. There's definitely conditions that has to be put in, but there's I think all design guidelines and stuff and that we get when we sign up on the block of land, and it's the developer's job to provide us, isn't it, with
Yeah,
certain
correct.
conditions that we have to meet in order to make it comply, and part of that will give us a list of conditions or material that we have to use as well. But in short, stainless steel as opposed to steel, nails, screws, fixings, stuff like that. Flashings have to be powder coated or aluminium, basically no steel, so nothing can rust. I think it's good, it's worthwhile upgrading your windows and stuff like that, your glass and all your windows and doors and etc. So there's actually quite a lot, and it does add some cost on. So it's not a case of jumping on Summit or Dale Alcock's website, picking a house and adding that on top of the house price or the land price. That's totally not how it works. The house will increase by somewhat,
And it's
close to
dependent
20
on-
grand. Yeah, close to 20 grand, depending on the size of the house.
Things to
obviously.
consider are the
Yeah.
wind. So
Yeah.
wind. So if you're going colour bond, you need to make sure there's ties. Make sure there's strong ties. The other thing is the salt. So the salt is deadly.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's why we do stainless steel, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
fixings can't rust.
Yeah.
And I think upgrading your windows as well. So there's a thing called nano coat that you can put a film over your glass windows, and it basically the salt hits, it comes off. The reveals in your windows and stuff like this, you don't want salty water pooling at the bottom of your windowsills. And there's a few things.
Balustrating, if you're going 2-story, your balustrating needs upgrading.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Composite cladding, I wouldn't use natural timber. I'd maybe use composite, or I would use compressed concrete, something that's robust, basically. So yeah, there's quite a lot to consider.
We class that as coastal conditions, isn't it? That's
Yep.
kind of what the terminology is in the
Correct.
industry.
Yeah.
There's also, I don't think it really affects Penny de Bay, but other areas would be the surf break, because the wind will come hammering in. Sometimes we have to put toughened glass in, and I've seen builds that we've had to put commercial grade glass in because they get absolutely pounded off the break. And that's more down Silver Sands way with the build that we've got there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
there's
beauty of
lots.
Kennedy Bay is that it's a north-facing bay, so it's just beautiful.
It's the best.
What are the beaches like down there?
Just beautiful.
Is there anything we need to know about
Beautiful
Port Kennedy
white
beaches?
sands. Do you want to talk about the nudie beach?
I want to talk about it. How often do you frequent it?
There is a nudie beach, and yeah, it's quite funny how people take that. Look, it is further around from the
I never knew this.
the
Well, I lived down in
subdivision.
Port Kennedy.
I had my drone up there as well.
I lived down in Port Kennedy, so I know it's there.
Somebody said to me, "Oh, you're going to remove that from the map," and I'm like, I don't think you should, because
nah.
it just is what it
It's what it
is.
is,
Yeah, yeah. You're down here. They're up round here. So
And they have to, and the nudists have to stick to that point. If they're caught outside, if they get in absolute massive trouble, like it's like public exposure, so they've seen
Slap in
that.
the
But slap in the bum. But they hide in the dunes, and God knows what they're doing in the dunes there. Probably playing with snakes.
We know.
Playing with snakes. Anyway, so
But there's a nude beach at Swanbourne, and that's fully encased by high end homes. So yeah,
look, I can definitely say I love Port Kennedy beaches. They're so
stunning.
calm. The beaches are pure white. The
Yep.
water's blue. And they're gorgeous to be down on that. And I would suggest, and they're getting a new jetty down at Port Kennedy Bay, aren't we? As well.
yep.
So launch your boats and stuff. So
Yep. So the
why
jetty, the state of the art jetty is going to be fantastic. So you've got fishing areas, you've got swimming areas, you've got mooring areas. There'll be a heap of moorings as well as coming up to the jetty. So yeah, it's I think it's something
Sounds
that
unreal,
the
huh?
area really needs.
Kennedy Bay is perfect for investors.
Well, not too far. How far is it from like Bunbury and stuff like that? Busferton.
Well,
It's about an hour and 20 for Bunbury.
50 minutes to the city.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be
No,
wouldn't be
can't be
much
too
more
much
than
more.
that.
About an hour-ish,
Yeah.
hour 20 to Port Kennedy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're only 15 to Mandurah. Mandurah is
Yeah.
pretty cool to go and visit.
Yep. Rockingham. One thing I think, obviously, me and Tony are quite big golfers.
Yeah.
So I used to play Port Kennedy 10 years ago, 11 whatever years ago, and it's one of my favourite golf courses.
And
they've-
then they ripped it up.
And then they've ripped it up. But now, I mean, obviously, I've not played it yet. We never used those fucking vouchers, Lee.
You use them.
We never.
No, they ran out of
expired.
October.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got
All sorts of new
Lee
ones.
gave us a free golf voucher, and we never got to use it.
I'll fix it.
Yeah, you'll fix it.
That's
But
what
yeah,
she's
Port Kennedy Golf Course is honestly unbelievable. Like, I think people in WA don't appreciate how good our golf courses are here, coming from Scotland or the home of golf. Honestly, we're spoilt with golf courses, but Port Kennedy Golf Course especially is up there, like one of the best in WA. So you've got that on your doorstep. It's also a public course. You can join it as a membership if you want, but you don't have to. But to be able to play a golf course of this caliber and it's on your back doorstep is huge. So yeah, big shout out to the golf club and for spending money and doing it and stuff like that as well, and ripping it up and seeing that it needed a bit of attention. So yeah, for any golfers as well to live on the beach on a golf course with all this new facilities,
that whole resort living down there, and
unreal.
Currently it's a 9-hole course, but by the beginning of 2024 it'll be an 18-hole course.
Again,
so you're back to
And is the clubhouse going to back onto the Birdie Cafe or the Birdie Restaurant? Is it all going to be in that area?
Yeah,
Jeez,
so
'cause that looks
be
nice.
that'll be developed there, and then by the end of 2024, that whole town centre is going to be done. So you'll have that jetty done. You'll have your microbrewery. You'll have your boutique hotel. You'll have your independent grocer, and you'll have your cafes and restaurants.
Yeah.
So
It is a
the
resort.
whole boardwalk.
Yeah.
It is. It is resort living. If you're downsizing,
Go for
it's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Investors, if you want an easy rental property on the beach, this is where it is. Get in touch with us. We'll help you put a package together.
Yeah.
You said we've got 6 townhouses, 4 normal houses. Let's do it.
Amazing.
Big Donny Bruce, he wants to be
right?
there. Donny wants to be there.
My
One of our mates that we play golf with.
I haven't got any facing the ocean, but I've got a couple, like 20 metres from. So there's some going that way, and then there's some facing south, and there's some facing north. So there's townhouses to be had.
Yeah.
You're just not facing west.
So Donny's got 2 kids and grandkids and stuff, and where they are in Baldivis at the moment, they've got a big block, and that's exactly what they want. I think downsizing.
Want to downsize,
so,
yeah. Well, the playground's there at Birdie, so there's already the playground.
Well, he was a member of the golf course as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Elaine, his wife, has a choice. It's
where they're going. It's where they're going. So so that's my favourite estate at the moment. I think it's absolutely amazing. And just, I mean, obviously depends on your lifestyle, but really is resort living. So I think it's a real downsizer.
We sponsor the Rockingham Sharks, don't we? Which is also in Port Kennedy.
Yeah.
Is it classified Port Kennedy?
Port Kennedy, yes,
Yeah,
Secret Harbour. It's on that.
Secret
It's up
Harbour.
that Larkhill Sports Centre, complex.
So maybe we can work out a deal for any of the members or committee members or anyone affiliated with the club. Maybe Lee can chuck us in something.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Give them a
Yeah,
sweetener.
I'll always get some vouchers for you. So
There
let
you
me
go.
know.
There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah. We'll always make it work.
You spoke about your suburb Darch, which I think, is paying ourselves. Give me one more suburb you think would be a real cracker, especially for investors. I'm like, this is where I think you would go.
Can I tell you a favourite first? So we've got Bayswater as well. So we've got 13 blocks on the river in Bayswater. That's called Everleigh. So if you're looking at that kind of level, and it's fancy building here, it's not just your little first home buyers, a little bit like Eterno was when we did the last one, but this one's even closer to the river. Bayswater, Everleigh at Bayswater is a ripper.
Is Bayswater 7 Ks from the city or something?
Yeah,
10K, less than 10 Ks?
Yeah.
Wow.
So capital growth.
Yeah, and to be on the
etc.
river, you can't get any closer to the river. So you've got the footpath in front of you, and then the reeds. You're there.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I think we should do something there and send it to
For investors over east.
If you've got
over
investors
east, yeah.
over east, and they're it's the 9 metre blocks. I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're such good value, and if people want to be, and it's like Airbnb. If people are doing that sort of thing, the investors are going to make so much money out of this.
Let's do a package there, Dawn.
So
Absolutely.
easy.
Let's do tile up.
Really?
Package on it.
No, it's really good. Yeah, going back to Darch, Darch is another one. It's infill.
Yep.
So, there's no land around it. So, if you want that area, this is where you have to go.
Do you have much left there?
So we've only done the first 2 stages there. There'll probably be 8 or 9 stages. So,
wow. It's a big project.
there's quite a big project through there. Display Village will be there. Not that you guys want that, but there'll be. But I mean, that's not a bad thing because it just does bring people
it brings people to the area
into
as
the
well.
area. Yeah.
We'll just do a coffee van up there one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drive through the houses. But Lee's big van.
I do that in other estates. It's so bad, isn't it?
100%.
I go through Stockland and drive my van through.
Bleep Stockland. By the way, beep.
we're better. It was an easy pull.
It's so bad. Yeah. But yeah, Darch is a ripper. Balcatta obviously is great too. Mosaic. Darch, we're looking at titles for January, February, stage 1, stage 2, and then March for Mosaic, Balcatta.
How many books are in Dutch?
I want to say 300.
Yeah. Oh wow. So decent size.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for investors, Dutch is a sought after area just north of the CBD. It's already established. There's a high rent return there. There's schools. Everything. It's
it's an established area.
Yeah. So
it's what we call infill. So where we are just slipping into an established area.
So instant. You rent it out straight away.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Akin Caravan's another good one for investors as well. That's 2-story product, but very close to the train station and into the city for work or anything like that. You've got shopping right next to you. So,
whereabouts is that?
Caramban.
Oh yeah. Little England.
Yeah. So not on the ocean side, but on the freeway and the train side. And
Joondalup side. Joondalup Gate side, is it? Yeah.
It's a great little estate. There's a few more stages there to go, but yeah. At the moment, it's all 2-story, but townhouse type builds, which I think is a great thing for rentals. Anyone that wants to be close to train stations and things like that, I think it's a great option. But maybe in the next stage, we may get some single stories in there as well, which will help with build times. But I suppose we could lead into build times with double stories. It's been a long journey with getting 2-story builds done. So if you've got 2-story mandatory sort of areas, what can you do, guys?
I'm 12 months. Yeah, I can guarantee 12 months with a double story for CC West. But we've also got a range of builders, don't they, that will guarantee under 15 months.
Yeah.
So
that's the best I knew. 15 months.
15 months is good. Majority of the rest of the builders are sort of 2 years, and we have them on our panel still, obviously. But 15 months we can sort of guarantee a double story. But me personally, I can build them in 12 months. Just build for me.
Which is amazing investors. That is really
12 months
good
for
stuff,
a double.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's another thing, not so much with land, but if the client is explained properly, like who's building it, is it going to be Terrace Homes? And it's hard for you when the client comes to you to sign on the O&A, and then you're like, oh, who's the builder, who's the XX, and it's like, right, fuck, have they been told it's going to take them fucking 3 years?
Yeah.
It's really hard, isn't it?
As a land agent, I do ask that question of them. You understand that the 2-story is going to take you longer? I said, did the rep give you an idea? And look, there is all of that. You've got to help protect a little bit. It's my product that's being brought into it. So I would always have that little conversation without alarming them or anything like that. But these are questions that you need to ask.
100%.
There's another question that we should be asking, and I know me and Chris do it, but some agents won't do it, and I think something that you would probably help is titled land versus non-titled land, the importance of it.
Amazing. If you're an investor, you want titled land. If you're a first home buyer and you still need to gather your deposit or time in job or probations, anything like that, then untitled land is perfect for you. But
or even if you just really want to be there. Simple as that.
Absolutely.
If you just want to live there.
If it is absolutely the spot that you want to be.
Yeah. Mum lives around the corner, etc. Blah blah blah. There's infrastructure. Your job's nearby, and there's just no land available. Then you have to get an untitled land.
That's right.
For an investor, obviously, you want to as quick as possible.
And
isn't it?
we go back to why you're choosing that piece of land, aren't you? Why are you choosing that piece of land? Is it close to your work? Is it close to your mum, the babysitter? Is it close to your local pub? Why would you want that? The nudist beach.
Yeah.
Why do you want to choose that block of land? So
No, I agree. The untitled land can work in your favour, but just make sure you're aware of it. Like, you think, oh, I'm signing on a bill of land, and you've got 6 months to wait before anything can happen. But, there's a whole process you can get to it. Then it'll just stop until that land's titled.
I think education, as long as the client understands, as long as the rep, the broker, whoever is educated the client and not just surprise them. That's the most important thing. The biggest thing last year with untitled land wasn't so much the land, it was the build prices jumping up 50 grand.
Yes, yeah.
But if the client understands that, there's a material shortage, trade labour's increasing because builders are competing, and there's probably going to be an increase in your price of 20, 30, whatever it is, or 5%. We need to know this.
Yeah.
The difference is when you sign up and they're already at maximum capacity on the borrowing power, and then it gets to that point, and then the builder goes, I can't build it for that price anymore. And it's true. It's like the builder's got a bad rap, but it is what it is.
Oh,
like
it is what it is, yeah.
Material prices increased, and if builders just take hits on everything, they'll go under. And you've seen how many builders have been bust in the last 18 months. So
even me as a land agent, we had a shortage of limestone, a shortage of Colorbond to do people's fences. There's shortages of everything.
Yeah.
Then we get the limestone, and then we've got no wall crew, so you've got no one to build the limestone. So it's like, where does it end?
And the premium goes up. It's supply and demand. So to get someone to build it, you got to pay them more than what was budgeted for, which then results in increasing price of the product. So there's nothing wrong with untitled as long as all of that's factored in. You've been educated, and I think that really comes down to what you said earlier, Lee, an experienced rep. And it doesn't mean us. It doesn't mean a builder broker. It can be a rep that works for a company, just as long as they're experienced in the industry. They've dealt with this. They've seen the highs, lows. They've been stung like me with the power line. You learn by it, that type of stuff. So otherwise you can have a pretty crap experience, I think, unfortunately, for some clients.
Yeah,
and that's the ones that, unfortunately, that's the ones that you read about, and you only read about the shit.
Well, that's right. You hear about the rubbish stuff all the time, but the good stories. Sometimes you get a nice story out of that rubbish review, and you sort of think,
not as much as the negative reviews, huh? And it's normally the uneducated reps or people that are just sort of blow into the industry, blow out, and they've just not educated the client. Because if you educate them and you tell them the truth and there's no surprises, then there's nothing to complain about, because they know. And actually, like what we would do, or what we were doing during all those price rises, is we were inflating prices by 25 grand, telling them that we're doing that. And when it only increased by 12 grand, they actually get the rest back. It's like, fuck, there's a positive.
Exactly.
There was a price rise, but I'm actually 13k up. What do you want to do with that? Put it in a pre-start, your finance to prove for it, or do you want it discounted? As long as that's all educated and communicated, it's even though it's a negative experience, it's a positive, because how we handled it.
It's a much easier conversation to have that one than it is to say, by the way, can you stump up another 13 grand? By the way,
right.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's easier to have it there in the pot than have to go and beg for it later on.
For sure.
And some of the builders which I didn't agree with did price increases after people have got finance. So, that's just not fair either.
It's not nice.
So if you know they're going to have a price increase, give it to them so that they can actually apply for their finance as well.
There's going to be a few people going to come after the builders for that, I think, with that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, there's going to be a backlash at some point, surely, but it's what it is.
It'll get swept under the rug and we'll forget about it in a year or two.
Everyone will be building,
Oh, I just think, we have to do the best that we can do.
That's all we can do, huh?
Yeah, we educate the client and educate them on what's happening.
Could happen. Yeah, exactly. Because like these clients, majority of the first home buyers, they're just so focused on the design and excited.
It's fluff.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yes,
like they don't, they're thinking about their tiles and blah blah blah, and this is a big step for them. So all the background noise, even if it's plastered all over the media or social media,
yeah, but youngsters don't.
They don't know.
They don't
that's
read
right.
That. They don't
exactly
listen to
right.
that.
They just care about
it's
the
like
now.
when you're on holidays, you never listen to the news.
No,
young
that's
ones
true.
are like that. They're just like that.
So, and again, that's where I think we position ourselves as builder brokers. We try and not sell for one brand. That unfortunately, some of these reps are great reps, but they just don't have the tools. Or this is what the builder's doing, and whether you like it or not, it's unfortunate. So, Yeah, do your research, I think.
Yeah, they've got their parameters and that's where they go.
That's it, yeah.
With the broker side of things, at least you've got 2 or 3, 4 builders that you can go to and get the comparisons too.
Yeah.
And probably both, different sorts of builds as well.
That's right.
That's the other thing, West Australians, we need to educate them hugely on alternate builds.
Come on, Lee. That's why she's
we
my
do.
favourite.
Well, we do. And the timelines now are really taking their toll. We are. Some people 2 and 3 years to build a house. That's
Mental.
heartbreaking.
It's mental.
Heartbreaking.
Because I touched on it on the finance episode, 2-3 years, it's not only the time delay, you're paying your mortgage, you're paying interest only repayments. So let's just say, double story, double brick home, 600k, let's just say. But it takes 3 years to build. Probably by the end of that, after you're making all those repayments, it's an additional 60, 70 grand on top, just on interest only. So the builder who's maybe charging 650 for the same product but can build it in 12 months, you made that money. You made that up, you know what I mean? So that's something that I think when people just look at the bottom figure or quote number, they only see that, but that's a huge thing.
And they argue about it, and you sort of think you're not seeing the big picture.
No, that's right. It's you really have to paint a picture and draw it down.
Yeah, and just remember, you don't need everything in your house when you first build it, right? We never done that. Ask your mum and dad, their parents, they never done it. You build the shell, you build what you can, and then you put the stuff in and you upgrade.
You can't have mum and dad's house for your first house.
No, that's
Mum
right.
and dad have spent 40 years getting that house.
Exactly.
That's right, yeah, exactly.
Think about how many times you've moved house with mum and dad. That's because of bumped up prices. They've got equity so they can get to the next level. Like Lee said, get in somewhere, just get yourself on the market and then get to work.
Yep, totally agree.
If your budget's not huge, just get in.
Yep.
And do you know what? Sometimes you don't even have to live in it. Maybe have it as a rental. Use it as a rental. You don't get your first homeowner's grant, but when you do build your own home, then you're still eligible. Yeah. People don't know that, I don't think either.
I don't think I even knew
I didn't
that.
know that either.
I didn't know that.
So if you build an investment property and you call it that, you don't have to claim your first homeowner's grant. But when you actually move into when you do choose to build, check that out. But I'm 99% sure
we believe you.
the case.
This is what we do. We bring on the industry experts to tell us stuff that we don't even know.
You can't know everything. You know what I
Brilliant.
mean? Like you can't know everything. Oh, that's good. That's really good to know.
But if you've got X amount of dollars or X amount of borrowing capacity, and it's not your dream home,
You can still get in. Oh,
Get
wow,
in.
that's good.
That's a great bit of advice. What other bits of advice have you got?
What's your pen and paper?
Top three? Your top 3 things you said, Lane. Obviously, just getting in the market. What about another 2 bits of advice you'd give people?
I think you do need to get into the market. I think you can't, you just can't have mum and dad's house first up. Don't think that you're going to do that. If you're not going to live in it, then it doesn't have to be in your dream suburb. So don't always look at alternatives. Why are you purchasing? Are you purchasing to get into the market or to live in it? Even if you are buying this investment property and you have to live in it for a little while, it doesn't matter. You're in the market. You've still got to pay rent, or you've still got to pay mum and dad board, or whatever, wherever you're living. You've still got to pay. So you may as well be buying yourself something.
Yep.
It needs to be where you need it to be. If you're going to buy a house, have it on the route to the airport if you're a FIFO. Have it at the beach if you're a surfer.
Golfer.
Have it at a golf course if you're a golf. Go to Kennedy Bay. Just think about why you're purchasing and where and then follow suit from there. Yeah. Don't get caught up with the first person you talk to. I think, there's... And I think your rapport with the rep is much better than the build. Because if you've got a rep who puts this paperwork together, you're going to have a decent build.
Yeah.
It's not so much I have to build a Dale Alcock house because Dale Alcock is well known. You need to go to Chris and Tony who are experienced and you put the paperwork together correctly and it's in the system and not being touched 14 times.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's a really good bit of advice.
I think it's how get that rapport and you'll know when you're talking to a rep whether they're responsive or whether you have to prompt them, but you'll know if they're good.
100%. I think you can, we used to do before we were bigger on social media, but I used to go for display villages and just see how the different reps approach you and talk to you. Now I can't unless I dress up like Santa, obviously.
But you're too well known now.
But it is quite an interesting thing, huh? So you'll get some guys that don't, or guys or girls that don't even get up and look at you, and you get other ones that can't fucking leave you alone. They're all over you, and then you get everything in between. And very quickly, if you just do that one experience of walking down and chatting to every rep, you instantly know which ones are industry professionals. They know what they're doing. They know how to talk to you. They can ask the right questions, not just the bullshit. Oh, what are you here for? That crap, you know what I mean? So
I'm just taking photos. I'm doing pre-start.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to harass you if that's what you're doing. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a good bit of advice. Don't go with the first person that you speak to or whatever.
Yeah. And get that bit of rapport. Find out their qualities. Yeah. Because if they half do things, then everything's going to be half done.
Yeah, correct. And the thing is, especially with the building rep and your land agent, you are in communication for a long period of time. You got to like the person.
Absolutely.
There's got to be I'm not saying you have to be a stand-up comedian like me, but yeah, there has to be some sort of rapport that you actually enjoy chatting to them. It's not all, or maybe the opposite, or maybe you just want pure business from this person,
exactly.
So whatever your style of personality is, try and align with that, because whether you like it or not, you're going to be dealing with this person, and when shit hits the fan, you want them to be on your side.
Absolutely.
When the builder makes a mistake, which happens in building,
a lot of people touch your paperwork. Don't think it's just going to happen. There's a lot of steps along the way,
and you want that rep, that land agent, that male, female who's on your side to be on your side, not just go, oh fuck it, well you signed this and it was wrong. No, you've got to have that rapport where you feel comfortable calling and saying, hey, I think they've actually made a mistake, or they've discontinued this tile. This is happening a lot at the moment, and they're only giving me these options. No, speak to the rep. Let him go back in and find an alternative, closer option to make you happy. Yeah. So I think that,
And I think you shouldn't be scared to be able to do that. I think even as a rep, you need to be able to say to the client, oh, you wouldn't believe it, these tiles are now
100%
discontinued. And we have to choose something else. There's going to be something close. So, there's no dramas there. It can be all fixed.
That's right.
But don't put it off, and don't, just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Brilliant. So, I think we can look to wrap this up. Have you anything else you want to talk about, Lee? You want to throw any more words of wisdom to us?
No, not really. Just the current market. I think the investors are huge in the market at the moment, and they all are going to places like Mandurah, Baldivis, Yanchep. So they're all being drawn into those areas. Yeah. If you can find an estate or an area that's outside of those options, I think it's probably a good thing if you can get your investors into other estates as well, because all of those areas are just being
warmed up. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Do you see prices increasing next year on land?
Well, I'm hoping it's settling. Yeah. I think in the last 2 years we've seen some crazy things happening. So I hope we're in a stage now where we're starting to settle and stabilise and not not have to be putting that on people all the time. It's going up, it's going up, it's going up. It's the delays that are still a little bit of a worry. We've still got civil contractors who are still trying to catch up. Yep. So they're the ones that build the roads and put the infrastructure in, and retaining walls and things like that. So we're still struggling a little bit with those guys not being able to start when they tell us they are or when we want them to. So we've sort of doing a turnabout now and waiting for them to start and then we release. So just a few things. They're just a few little things that happen in the industry that you just need to be aware of.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, everyone loves a land estate, and everyone loves building, and everyone loves new areas. So it's nothing better than building your own home. So yeah, I feel like we've all done it, and we all dream to do it. If you haven't done it, you've bought established previously, I reckon there's something in the back of your mind always thinking,
Let's try and build.
just I'd really like to build a house.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice thing. It's really nice to see people's dreams come true as well. You know, I've done the very lowest of first home buyers, and I've done some really high end new luxury homes
builds,
as well.
yeah.
And you know, the joy is the same.
Yeah, that's right.
The joy is the same. It's, you know, just what you can afford, and it's still wonderful.
I love giving them the pen. I love giving them plans and options, and then actually going, here, you draw it, and turning that into a house. Like that's, you can't get that buying an established house. You know what I mean? It's the opposite. You walk in and go, fuck, I love this, but I'd change this, and this. So you've spent 700k plus another 70k in renovations.
With my
and
brother.
Well,
Went through his house the other day.
Well,
So yeah.
that's the thing, isn't it? You know, you can buy the house in the right area, but then what do you have to do to
top of it.
to get that?
And then living in a renovation
Yeah.
for someone that does renovations is
Yeah.
it's not ideal. So
Yeah, we spoke about previously helping those single mums and that they don't think they can do it, and then getting them into the market, and they're just like the appreciation. I mean, it makes you feel really great. It's not about the money. It's about actually going. You know, you get more joy out of that than other things that I feel. You know, you think I don't think I can do this. This is what we need to do, and you watch them work so hard to get to the point. You know, we've got one of my clients down in Halls Head. Angela, we got her a package in Halls Head. She just got her keys the other week there. Got her house revalued, 100 grand she made on it.
Oh, wonderful.
100 grand.
Wonderful.
$100,000, and she was like, Tony,
Wonderful.
100 grand. I've got it
Yeah.
revalued, remortgaged, off a key start.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do.
Wonderful.
That's the best feeling we've ever had. So, you know,
100%.
so thanks, Angela.
Yeah.
so now we'll use that equity and build one in.
Well, that's it.
and
Yeah.
put
It's
Kennedy
pick it
up.
up. Yeah.
Exactly.
The other good thing about that little conversation is how many single girls are doing it on their own. So many.
Loads, man.
So
Loads.
many. Good on
More
you,
than
girls.
single
You're
blokes.
doing well. Absolutely.
More than single blokes that are in the
Absolutely,
mines earning
The boys are
130
still
grand a
doing
year.
jet skis
That's right.
and things like that.
Yeah.
The
Honestly.
girls are actually buying something
Yeah,
solid.
no,
Angela's
100%.
single with 3 kids, like, and just is like, we met her through a connection through, we sponsored the Bravehearts Ice Hockey Club, one of the guys that I know.
Met
played.
at a beach then in Port Kennedy.
Yeah. No. They're selling camping stuff, and she's like, I'm going to look to build a house and speak to my mate, and that's generally how it happened. So no, like just out there in the community helping people, it's the best feeling.
I've
ever,
done
so.
Tamara Scott, Amy O'Neill, 3 kids each, and I actually turned them away and I said, look, you've got to do this. You've got to pick up a couple more hours here and here.
Yep.
Come back in 3 months. Literally
Yep.
listened to what I said, came back in 3 months, a year later in the house. It's like, that's better than anything. Huh?
Then you have the idiots. I just bought a car and you just like get out. Just get out. You know, well, I just bought a $60 grand car and you're just like get out.
Well
get out,
done,
mate.
mate.
I know, mate.
Well done.
Buy a house and then buy a car.
100%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So no,
That's a big tip, guys.
That's the biggest tip,
If you
yeah.
want a brand new car, get your house first.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so much
You
easier.
can't do it
So
the
much
opposite
easier.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Plus, you'll have a brand new garage to put your brand new car in. So just do the smart things,
Yeah,
guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we can
Yeah.
customise the garage as
Look
well,
at it, you want
obviously.
Yeah.
4 cars. Look, do you want a hoist in it? Anything you want, we've got you.
We'll put a pit. Do you want to? Yeah, we'll have a pit
Yeah.
down
I'll
there.
put one of these in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How good's the sign, by the way?
Sounds the best.
So good.
It's the best.
Well, it's better
It's
than
the
the
best
other
sign
thing
I've
we
ever
had.
seen.
So it's good. It flashes and stuff, but it'll probably break your eyes if we turn it on. Like, on that note, I think we're just going to say thank you so much for
Thank you,
coming
Lee.
along, Lee. We are so grateful for you coming here. Chris, have you anything you want to finish on today? I know you always like to put your 2
Nah,
pence
not
in
really.
there.
Just honestly, mate, you've helped me since my start of my journey, and I really appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. We love you. We don't see you as much as we'd like to, but when we do, it's always great. So thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. And not my thing really to do these things, but it's great.
isn't it?
Great chatting to you boys anyway. We do a good lunch, so we can do a good podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
This is it. So, no, thank you so much. Again, guys, this is on all your platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. So like, subscribe, share it. Please do that.
What's the free giveaway this week? Bananas?
I don't know, we'll just give them a bit of land from Parcel.
I'll speak with Lee.
Oh,
Right, see, just
why don't we do a birdie voucher?
We can do a birdie voucher.
Or
birdie
a-
voucher. Who wants to go to the birdie restaurant for lunch?
Port Kennedy. And then
So-
Tony will take you to the beach.
So on YouTube, I want you to go on. On the Building Podcast website, Facebook page. Sorry, I want you to go on there, and I want you to like, and I want you to comment something about why you want to go to the Birdie Cafe, and why we should give you the voucher, and the best one will win. If not, me and Chris are taking it. So
Done. Okay.
All right, thanks guys, appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
you, Lee.
Thanks for having me.